Hello YouTube and welcome back to the Kanto Weekly Show, week number 10. Now, this is the PIDA week on the channel because we need to catch up. If you missed out on yesterday's video where we covered week number 9, I'd highly recommend you go back and check that out because there's a lot of games. I would say there was a lot of games. There's like 4 games last week with actually battle replay. So it was a short episode even though it was still 50 minutes, but nonetheless. So I read there wasn't any comment left on week number 9, so you don't want anything change with the series, so I'm just going to rock on with how I've been doing. You guys seem to be loving these. So week number 10, we are roughly, this is now what, 2/3 of the way through because it's 15 weeks, so this is the 2/3 stage, so getting towards the end of the season, obviously, because week number 2/3 of the way through, but this is going to, after this week, we should have a rough idea who's going to get in the green zone, who's going to go into yellow, who's in the orange, who's in the red, blah, 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 blah. But before we begin any of these games, we need to go over the first game, which is the New England Blizzards versus the Hungry Big Boys. Coach, and the New England Blizzards picked up the forfeit win for that game because, once again, Bidu's been busy and he couldn't do the game, so New England Blizzards picked up the W and won that game, so that boosts their progress into staying in the yellow zone for at the end of the season. So we jump into game number 2, where we have the Sydney Shamans versus the Boston Cyndaquils. And the Sydney Shamans are rocking Vaporeon, Mega Pidgeot, Mandibuzz, Tapu Lele, Slurpuff, and Tornadus, whereas the Boston Cyndaquils are rocking Dragalge, Baboyra Uniclus, Mega Gallade, Incineroar, Landorus, Firion, and Shaman. Now, obviously, double Intimidate for the Boston Cyndaquils there, with only, I want to say, just Slurpuff is his only main physical threat on this team, because Vaporeon special, even though it's like a wall, it runs like Scald and stuff. Mega Pidgeot is special because it gives Heat Wave and Hurricane and whatnot. Mandibuzz can be physical, but it's mainly going to be bulky, so Intimidate's not going to make much of a difference on Mandibuzz. Tapu Lele is obviously, let me just spam Psychic and Moonblast. Yeah! And then Slurpuff's only Belly Drum, and Thunderous obviously special as well. So double Intimidate can potentially help against the Slurpuff, but he's got the likes of, I'd say Dragalge, who's neutral. Is it neutral? Is poison resist? I don't think it's neutral. I think it's still too effective against it. But just hit it with a Sludge Wave, outspeeds it, and if it's got the Unburden boost, it can just go, well, bap, good guy, goodbye, gone, bye-bye. Obviously, Reuniclus can just do its job. If Mandibuzz is down, Reuniclus can just sit there and go, lovely, love it. My boy Reuniclus is here, Jellybean. Obviously, Mega Gallade can put in the work once the Slurpuff, Tapu Lele, the Mandibuzz, and the Pidgeot are gone. So, so most of his team, Mega Gallade's not got the best matchup in this scenario whatsoever. So, I'm not imagining that putting in so much work this week. And obviously, Shaman as well with the double burbs, the triple burbs. Could technically 20 as a burb, but the triple burb types, Shaman's not going to have a great matchup. So, on paper, I'm leaning towards the City Shamans to win this game, but let's jump into the game and see how it pans out. So, lead with Burb Jesus versus the Reuniclus, my boy Jellybeans. Burb Jesus Mega Evolves and goes for the U-turn. Does solid just under a quarter to Reuniclus, who goes for the Thunder Wave to paralyze the Mandibuzz. So he switches down to his Mega Gallade as he goes for U-turn. So mono U-turn so far on this side of the screen. This side of the screen towards Tornadus. So out comes Incineroar to get the Intimidate drop off on Mega Pidgeot. Goes for the Hurricane. Does not that much damage. U-turn again. Mono U-turn there from the Sydney Shamans. But just U-turn. Everyone's just switching. Leech Seed by the Shaman as it goes for the Ice Beam. Does 32% to Shaman. Which is leftover set with Leech Seed. So far in this game we've seen U-turn, 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 U-turn. So it's just like the government. That was a political joke, which I never thought That political joke just made my freaking mouse run out of battery. We're going old-fashioned mode now. We're going touchpad. Right. Anyway, so out comes Mandibuzz versus the Shaman as it goes to Tailwind. Take on the Tailwind to boost his team by double. Out comes Landorus, which get full power up by the Mandibuzz right there as the Landorus Swords Dance in front of the Mandibuzz when it got paralyzed. So got free switching, got the Swords Dance up. It's now toxic, so it's on a timer. So it can potentially not sweep if this is what it's, the Boss and Cynical's intention was with Landorus. So stacks up the poison damage, he goes for Rock Polish. As gets a free Rock Polish off because of the paralysis, so which is very unfortunate from the Sydney Shamans there, but lives a knockoff because the Mana Buzz's bulky boy. Goes for knockoff and doesn't knock off an item. So I'm guessing it's a Z move on Landorus, so that's what I'm thinking anyway. But goes for Stone Edge again. He misses the Stone Edge this time, so that's quite annoying for the Boss and Cyndaquils because all that setup was for nothing because he didn't want to stay in risking the Landorus in dying to Toxic when he could just like when it could still be useful later in landing Stone Edges on the likes of Mega Pidgeot and a Tornado. So goes out into his Mega Gallade, goes for the Ice Punch against the Mandibuzz, which does nothing because Mandibuzz is a bulky boy. But the Mega Gallade is now poisoned, so the poison is stacking up on this side of the screen. Mega Gallade goes for the Ice Punch on the Mandibuzz, you can just stall it out with Roost. And over time, you can just Toxic stall it. So he goes out into Uniclus. Free switching because of the paralysis. Don't know what Uniclus is going to do to Mandibuzz, but he goes for Trick Room, which I don't understand why with a Trick Room, but he goes out into Dragalge. As he gets another free switch because of the paralysis, as the paralysis is doing bits. Knock off, could outspeed, knocks off the Metronome as he goes for Thunderbolt. Now, Metronome's a very interesting item to bring because obviously no one really uses Metronome, but it's like it's a good item because it power up if you spam a move, it powers up each time. So and you're not locked in. So for example, this Dragalge can just spam Thunderbolt and it gets stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger. I don't know what the level is, and I think it's like 3 or 4. It stops that because if it kept going forever, that'd be ridiculous. That'd just be ridiculous. It'd go right. I'm gonna hit you harder and harder and harder and harder and harder and just that. But anyway, goes out into this thing versus Dragalge. Gets the paralysis again, but he goes for the Ice Beam because Trick Room's up obviously. So the paralysis helps out the City Shames in that scenario, but stalls out the Trick Room damage, the Trick Room timer. Out comes the Incineroar versus the Tapu Lele. Goes for Psychic, predicting that play. Is immune to that. Goes for Focus Miss. Incineroar lives because it's most likely going to be an Assault Vest set. That's the most common set run on Incineroar. But Tapu Lele goes for the Shadow Ball. Really because eats up, just Trick Room down, goes back out into Dragalge. As it goes down to Mandibuzz. Gets the full paralysis as Dragalge goes for Thunderbolt. Down goes Mandibuzz. Now, 6-4 right now, and Slurpuff's on screen. And if it's an Unburdened Belly, this is going to be interesting because obviously there are 2 turns of Trick Room left. If he wants his Unburden boost, he's got to have to wait a turn to be able to activate it and outspeed the Dragalge and then kill it with a Play Rough or whatever move he wants to go for. So that can be an issue, but let's see what it goes. Go straight out to Mega Pidgeot as it goes for Sludge Wave. Lives on 19%, goes back out into Skeff's Mum as he goes for Sludge Wave again, and Slurpuff is gone. Slurpuff is just gone, and I'm thinking, right. Slurpuff is gone. Slurpuff is just gone. Slurpuff is gone. It's out. Sydney Shames are now 6-3 down. I don't see any way they can get back to this because Mega Pidgeot's on low health. Tapu Lele's on about what? So basically you've just got this and Tapu Lele left versus 6 Mons, and most of them are healthy. I think. But anyway, Tornadoes come down versus Uniclus, goes for Acrobatics, and goes for Acrobatics again. The item's not been revealed, so either he's got an item and he's going for Acrobatics anyway. I don't know what item it could be. It could probably be a berry or something, but his item didn't activate, or he's just not holding an item in the first place. So it's very unusual, but he gets a Trick Room up with his Uniclus, the Boss and Cyndaquils, goes back out into the Dragalge, who can just spam the likes of Thunderbolt or Sludge Wave and just win the game. But Skeff's dad lives with the Thunderbolt, goes for Acrobatics, down goes with Dragalge. A big threat for the rest of the team. So out comes Uniclus again, who just comes in and spams Psychic because it outspeeds because of the Trick Room. Out comes Tapu Lele with 1 turn of Trick Room left, paralyzes the Tapu Lele as it goes for Shadow Ball. Uniclus lives, and Trick Room ends, goes for Psychic. Bish Bash Bosh, outspeed. Shaman comes out, Leech Seed, misses the Leech Seed, which is very crucial because if this thing was Leech Seeded, A, it would have been on timer, have to switch out to Mega Pidgeot, and he could get a free setup with Landorus again and just win the game if it gets a Rock Polish up or something like that. And very, very, very... It's not a... it's a... I can't think of the words. I'm speechless. But Moonblast comes out, gets a crit. Crit did not matter. And out comes the Shaman again to try and land Elite Seed this time, which it does. Gets a crit. That crit mad because the last time that Psychic didn't do that much damage. But Tapu Lele is coming through. There's the Earthquake. Outspeed. Down goes Skeff's mum, Tapu Lele. And left is Mega Pidgeot. Goes for Hurricane. Outspeed Landorus. Knocks that thing out. Out comes Mega Glade. It's going to go for Hurricane. It's going to land because it's got no guard. And kill the Mega Glade. And the Sydney Shamans with 1-0 when they were 3-6 down. The comeback of dreams. The absolute comeback of dreams there for the Sydney Shamans. Obviously, the MVP of that was Tapu Lele, who brought that game back phenomenally, absolutely phenomenally, and a Mega Pidgeot just swept the rest of the team, just swept up the end. And so that was a brilliant, brilliant, brilliant comeback by the Sydney Shamans. Tapu Lele, this is why it's being skyrocketed up to Tier 3, skyrocketed up to Tier 3 for next season, even though in most leagues it's banned. But in this league, it's Tier 3. Actually, it's Tier 4 right now, so it's madness, absolute madness. But anyway, obviously, Dragalge on under Trick Room is very, very scary. So the Sydney Shamans played around that really well by A, knocking off the Metrodome, B, just stalling out the Trick Room turn so it can not do as much work as it wanted to be. Because if it got the Trick Room up and just spammed Thunderbolt or Sludge Wave, that was game over. That was absolutely game over. So it's good battle there by both teams, and the Sydney Shamans rocking on up, climbing up that table with that 1-0 victory. So we move on to game number 3, where we have the Pura Pidgeots, coached by JJ, versus the Victoria Victinis, coached by Devil. And the Pura Pidgeots are rocking Greninja, Mega Latios, Silvally, Vileplume, Blissey, and Darmanitan, whereas the Victoria Victinis, the Weather team, are rocking Excadrill, Hippowdon, Pelipper, Kingdra, Emboar, and Charizard Y. So he's brought all 3 weathers this week, and all 3 mons which benefit the weather, because he's got Jill Sand, Pelidra, and Zardbor. Obviously, the first 2 are obvious, because Excadrill gets Sand Rush on Sand Force, Kingdra gets Swift Swim. They're like staple Sand team, you put an Excadrill on it. Water team, you put a Kingdra on it. Fire team, the first mon you think of is not Emboar. It's not. But if Emboar's like Scar Flare Blitz with Reckless, it's putting in the work. It's absolutely putting in the work. So you never know. You never know. And obviously he's got Greninja for the Pure Pidgeots, can put in the work against his team, especially with double fire, double ground. So Valley can put in work depending on its typing. Obviously Blissey can just wall all special hits from the Pelly, the Kingdra, and the Charizard. Obviously, Mega Latios, most leagues it's busted, broken, bye-bye like Tapu Lele, but it's here. It's here. Top to do the work. Vileplume, which is trash. If your name's... Vileplume's just the worst grass poison type. I've tricked a lot of people by saying that, but it's obviously Lippy is the way forward. Lippy's the way forward for grass poison type, and obviously Diddy Kong, Donkey Kong, the Darmanitan just puts in the finds of work. So this should be a good game on paper. So let's see how it goes. Lead with Darmanitan versus the Mega Charizard Y. Go straight into Emboar, predicting obviously I don't know what it's predicting. Earth, Stone, Rock type move probably. But out comes the Megazard versus the Mega Latios. He gets a crit Zen Headbutt, turn 2. I'm like, okay. Mega Charizard Y is pretty much gone at this point. Absolute solid. So Drought comes up, goes for the Tailwind, sacks off the Megazard Y versus the Mega Latios to get the Tailwind up. So the likes of possibly Kingdra can outspeed it, I guess, because Kingdra should end up out on predicting, making baiting out to go into Blissey, I would imagine. But Hippowdon starts going for Curse now, as Blissey goes for Stealth Rock. So Hippowdon, if you've not watched any of these videos before, Hippowdon in Kanto is the best mon for kills differential in Tier 2. Like, I wasn't expecting that, because Hippowdon's usually a bulky boy, And I'd imagine it to be like +1 or +2 or something, or 0, around that mark. Around that mark. But it's like ridiculously high because of like curse. It just sets up cursors, lives any hit, and just goes earthquake, 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 earthquake. He predicts an earthquake up in here. So I'm expecting it to do just a similar thing to right now. But you go down to Vileplume, as you go to another curse, back up to +2/+2 attack and defense versus the Vileplume. Vileplume goes for Giga Drain, does about half. Earthquake just OHKOs it. Just OHKOs it. And Hippowler's just racking up the kills. But Greninja goes for Scald, has a Pasho Berry to live the Scald. Unfortunately, gets the burn. So A, Greninja lives, and B, Hippowler just, you know, if he didn't get that burn, Greninja would be gone. And Hippowler would still be here with like, what, 10%? I know like the Mega Latios and the Diamante would outspeed it and kill it, but Greninja would be gone. Greninja would be gone. So that's a very, very... It's been a very unlucky game for the Victoria Victina so far, with the crit Zen Headbutt on turn 2, and now that burn with that Scald on turn number 9. So, down goes Hippowdon, out comes the Emboar. Obviously, it's going to be his Choice Scarf to outspeed it, but goes for Flare Blitz, does 55% Diamantan. It's Flare Blitz Pig versus Flare Blitz, whatever Diamantan is. I don't know what it is, but outspeeds with the Earthquake. Obviously, a Choice Scarf set, because most Diamantan either Choice Scarf or Life Orb, and he's not revealed the Life Orb because of the no recoil damage. So he's Choice Scarf, so good smart play by Devil here. Realizes that and goes down to Pelipper, because obviously if it's locked into Earthquake, it can't touch the Pelipper. So he switches that into a Silvally, which is a Silvally normal type, I want to say. Yeah, because it's got leftovers. So goes for Grass Pledge, which is a very interesting bring, because I don't know, but Pelipper gets the Scald back, but this Silvally is obviously a special set, so that burn's not that important. But Silvally goes to Protect as Nigel goes to Roost. So Nigel's back up to full health, gets a Toxic up on the Pelipper as it Scald kills it. Revenge Scald kills it. Revenge Scald kills it, just kills it with Scald. Out comes the Blissey, who obviously Pelipper can't touch. Goes for a Tailwind, however. As Blissey goes for Wish. As he goes out into his Excadrill, Blissey goes for Seismic Toss, doing a solid 27% to obviously the Excadrill, who's Life Orb Iron Head, and Blissey's just going to Wish Stall it because that's what it's going to do. Just spams Earthquake to stall out the Tailwind turns for this Excadrill. So he wishes out, goes out into his Mega Latios, knowing now they will outspeed because of the Tailwind's obviously disappeared, and he can Dragon Dance up because I'm not sure what. But it goes for X Scissor. It lives just about. Latios goes for Earthquake, just knocks this thing out because it's a +1/+1 Dragon Dance set. Out comes the Nigel, who's going to not outspeed it. Dragon Claw just OHKOs it. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. But now Kingdra comes out, and Kingdra. What Devil's done here, Victoria Victini's, they set out Pelipper, said, right, kill the Pelipper. Pelipper's no use to me anymore. What is used to me right now? I have a Kingdra in the back, and I can sack off the Pelipper, set up the rain, and just, you know, do the most with Poseidon here. Because A, it's in the rain now for 4/7 turns. It will outspeed this thing even at +1, potentially, depending on what set he is. But he goes for Surf just in case he switches out. And out comes Blissey versus Poseidon, which can pretty much just wall this thing. So he goes for Laser Focus. Now, I'm confused by this because I do not know what Laser Focus does. Does it guarantee I think it guarantees the next hit will be a crit. So go down to Greninja to sack that thing off to waste a Laser Focus turn as it goes for Z Hydro Vortex. So yeah, that was a good play by the Pure Pidgeot there because no Laser Focus coming because like, right, you're going to crit me. You're going to crit me next turn. I know for a fact that a crit Surf is going to do what? About 60% to Blissey. Let's just waste that turn because Greninja's dead anyway because I can't read the rocks. So let's just send that out, waste his Laser Focus turn, and just sack that thing off. But the Victoria Victinas go, I'm going to press this big button and make you go, boom, Hydro Vortex, a crit would have blown this Blissey back, waste the Z move, waste the Laser Focus, so he can just send out the Blissey again and can just wall it for the rest of the game. Which pretty much is what's going to happen here as it goes for Seismic Toss, Poseidon Laser Focus up again. The rain is gone now, just protects to waste the Laser Focus turns There's a Draco Meteor. So this Blissey can just wall this Poseidon for days. He misses the Draco Meteor on that turn, goes for Seismic Toss, and eventually the Blissey will knock out the Poseidon because Draco Meteor does like 20% to Blissey. It does 20% to Blissey. And that is GG. And Blissey, once again, proving its worth as being just the bane of every team's existence. It just doesn't bloody die. It just doesn't die. I hate seeing Blissey put in work. I really do. It's triggered me so much on this channel. If you're an OG of the channel, you know why Blissey is like my bane of my goddamn existence. It really is. I hate it so much, but not as much as Flygon, but it's up there. It's in the top 5. And just no. Just no. I don't want to see it again. But GG to Pure Pidgeot. That's a massive win because the Victoria Victinians were pushing into the green zone, just creeping up behind the Pure Pidgeot. So if they won that game, they would have went, well, bam, green zone. You're in the orange. Orange, you're in the yellow. Deal with it. Just deal with it. But Pure Pidgeot's putting the work. Unfortunately for Blissey. I don't want to praise Blissey, but I'm going to have to. Because it wasn't the MVP. It wasn't the MVP. I don't have to praise it. It was Mega Latios. Mega Latios with the Dragon Dance set and the Crit Zen Headbutt. Just putting the work. Just putting the work for the Pure Pidgeots. So yeah, that's game number 3 over and done with. We now move on to game number 4. Where we have the Sinnoh Starlets, coached by Sean, the Blind Messiah, versus the Mediterranean Quagsires, who, if you missed out on last week's video, are the replacement coach for the Greenland Guzzlords because they reached the quota of that many forfeits, so they went, goodbye, you've reached your 3 forfeits, that's setting the rules, you're out, goodbye, see you later, adios. So they're gone, Ixie's here to replace them. And he brought on his first team, he has brought Galissapod, Delmise, Kyurem, Nidoqueen, Meloetta, and Magneton. Whereas the Sinnoh Starlets have brought Volcarona, Nidoking, Araquanid, Hoopa Unbound, Zygarde, who last week picked up, traded for Mamoswine, for the City Shamans. And the City Shamans did not bring Mamoswine in our first game, I just noticed, because obviously both those teams last week had a forfeit match, either forfeit winning or forfeit losing, so we didn't see those potential new mons have a run out in the first team, but they obviously didn't because Mamoswine was not being brought yet. But Sean has got right on it and got right. Zygarde's on the team. We're putting him right into the starting 6, and we'll see how it goes. So Sean's put double dragon when the Sydney Shamans have got a Kyurem and a Magneton. Well, I know Zygarde just dealt Wolves Magneton because it's got it'll be ground type as well. So if Kyurem, Zygarde can potentially just do the most against this team once the Kyurem is gone. Once the Kyurem is gone, this Zygarde can just put in the absolute finest of work. It really can. So Sean's team is just scary. If he gets Sticky Webs up and he gets Zygarde out, that's just game over. Same with if he gets webs up and Hooper comes out, that's game over. If Sean gets webs up for Araquanid and Volcarona comes out, that's game over. If it's the same with Nidoking. Same with Goodra. It's just mad. So Defog, I know Delmine's get Rapid Spin, I know that's only rock remover, hazard remover. If Sean can get webs up, that's just GG. That is literal GG. So let's jump to the game and see how this thing goes. So Araquanid leads. Like I thought, webs are coming. Stealth Rocks, Sticky Webs. I knew it. And then Araquanid just goes, right, hi, I have Water Bubble. I have base 160 base power liquidation. And you're a Nidoqueen. I'm just going to click liquidation and just blow you back. And it does that. So, I want to congratulate the Araquanid, because out comes Delmise, who's obviously going to Rapid Spin right now. And Araquanid just stays in and goes for Leech Life, does nothing, because Delmise is is ridiculously bulky for no repower meter whatsoever. So out comes Magneton, as it goes for Stick Web again, just putting them back, straight back up again. Goodra comes out, goes the Magneton, as it goes for Light Screen. So Goodra just goes for Earthquake. Do not see Earthquake Goodra coming whatsoever. The Volt switches out back out into his Kyurem. It's behind the Light Screen, but webs are up, so it's not very... There goes the rain dance as it goes for substitute. So Kyurem is now behind the substitute, behind the light screen with webs up. So, but the rain is up, so he can hydration and he can do the most with this team. So, see how this thing goes, because Kyurem's obviously revealed the leftovers. Out comes Araquanid to predict the Ice Beam that's incoming, because Araquanid's got stupid high special defense. Everyone forgets that. It's got like 130 special defense and can live most special hits, which is ridiculous. But there goes the Leech Life to break the sub, gets a little bit of health back from the substitute. As the light screen wears off, and so does the substitute. Out comes the Galissapod, the other water bug type from Gen 7. There's the Leech Life, doing a solid 20% to this Galissapod. Out comes the first impression, gets a crit and kills the Araquanid, and I'm like, okay. I don't think that crit mattered, because whereas Araquanid's special defense is like up here, its defense is like up here. It's just bad. It's not bad, it's just, compared to its special defense, it's absolute non-existent. So, that's how you kill an Araquanid, people, with a physical type move. So, Galissapod gets the kill, goes to first impression. Out comes the Zygarde, the Ben 10 reject, with Aura Break. Goes for the Rock Slide, doesn't do a lot to the Araquanid, but emergency exit gets activated. Out comes the Kyurem, so it gets a free switch and out into the Kyurem. But obviously the webs are up, so he goes to Rock Slide, misses the Rock Slide, as Kyurem gets the substitute off. And I'm thinking, okay, this Kyurem can just pretty much kill this Zygarde. So Sean stays in and just sacks off the Zygarde to break the sub of the Kyurem, so he can go out into his, I'm guessing, his Nidoking, which will now outspeed it, and can just click Earth Power and just do a little bit of damage to it. But Titan does Earth Power's back and does a lot of damage. Earth Power. Goes for Roost, which is I didn't see that coming. So he goes out to Super Unbound, predicting an Earth Power or whatnot. Or an Ice Beam. Does 51% to the Super Unbound. As Super Unbound goes for Drain Punch, just goes, hello, let me just kill this Kyurem Black. Kyurem Black, Kyurem, just Kyurem. Just Kyurem. Super Cover comes out as it goes for Hyperspace Fury. Goodbye, Delmise. I told you, webs are going to win. So, first impression is incoming. So he goes out to Nidoking to sack that thing off, because he knows a first impression is coming, and knows that Hooper Unbound can put in the most work against his team. Out comes the Gudra versus the Galissapod. Out comes the Malware, predicting I know, but it goes for Infestation. So this Malware is stuck here, doing the most as it just calm minds up. As the Gudra just spams Earthquake. It's trapped in. Rihanna's trapped in. Goes for the Z move. Goes for Z all-out pummeling, which is not going to do that much to Gudra. 44%. That's probably Focus Blast, I have to say, but Bellaway goes down for Infestation, stacking damage. Gumanchu outspeeds the Mounton, kills it with Earthquake. Out comes the Tarantula, the Galissapod. Goes for first impression. Knocks out the Gudra. Out comes Hooper Unbound, who outspeeds because of the webs. Goes to Hyperspace Fury and knocks out the Tarantula. And that is GG to Sean. Like I said in the start of the video, the start of this game, webs won Sean the game, because all his mons are like really scary attackers, but they're just slow. Besides Zygarde, they're all slow. So once webs were up, Sean just won, because Hooper Unbound can just go, hello, let me just kill everything by 170 base attack. Or Zygarde comes out and just goes, hello, I don't need to be Choice Scarf because webs are up, let me just spam 1,000 arrows, potentially a Dragon type move if needs be. Hello, I'm a Nidoking, let's do the same thing with Life Orb, that would be Choice Scarf. And then Volcarona, you can get like a Quiver Dance up and just win because of webs. Super. So if you want to beat the Sinnoh starts, you've got to get rid of those webs. That's all I'm saying. All you got to do is get rid of those webs. The MVP of that game was Galissapod, who got 3 kills for the Mediterranean Quagseyes, but obviously died to the Hooper Unbound, because Hooper Unbound was the other MVP, getting up 3 kills and not dying. So Hooper Unbound puts in the work, as well as the Galissapod. So GG to Sean. Sean is now pushing, I think it's Zombie and Pig, Staff and Pig are up there for the top positions. They're really close at the top of the table, so they're all pushing for those. And obviously, Mediterranean Quagseyes are taking over the Green and Guzzlord to pretty much last in the league. Not a great start to try to redeem the team, but Still got 5 more weeks to go. It's still doable. I think they're like, what, 6 points off the yellow zone. So there's still a chance. There's still a chance for them to survive this season. So all the best to the Mediterranean Crag's Eyes for next week's game. So we move on to game number 5, where we have the Sugar Puff City Swirlixers versus the Boston Typhlosions. And the Sugar Puff City Swirlixers are rocking Salamence, Alola Muck, Rabombi, Entei, Palossand, and Primarina. Whereas the Boston Typhlosions are rocking Alola Whack, Jirachi, Mega, Garchomp, Mega, Double Gogo, and Jirachi, and Tangrowth, sorry. Yeah, Tangrowth. So yeah, looking at the teams, Salamence puts in the work against Chomp. Yeah, Mega. Doesn't do a great matchup against Jirachi, unless it's got a Flamethrower on it, or an Earthquake on it, and Tapu Koko. It's got Earthquake on it. But Tapu Koko will outspeed unless it's a Choice Scarfed, Adamant, Earthquake. I don't see Salamence touching Tapu Koko. I literally do not see it touching it. So he has Muck for that. He has Muck for the Tapu Koko and the Tangrowth and the Alola Whack. So Alola Muck can be a big player in this game. Once the Chomp is out of the way, Mega Garchomp's out of the way, Muck can do a decent amount of job to this team. Rabombi, like the last game, webs. If webs are up, Salamence can just run house once the obviously Mega's down because it gets speed boost and is not affected by webs. So once that's gone, that can be done with. Entei with webs is just scary, like the Hooper on Battle the last game. Entei with webs up on that side of the screen just puts in the work because it will then outspeed Jirachi. It will outspeed the Mega. Even though it won't be affected by webs. I keep saying Mega, but it's not affected by webs because I'm a freaking idiot. But outspeed Tapu Koko and just do the worst with the Palossand. I like Palosand's design because I used it. Did I use it in my playthrough? I did not use it in my playthrough, but I do like Palossand. And I haven't really seen it do great in competitive because obviously its ability, it raises its special defense or defense like a lot if it gets hit by a water type move. But it's weak to a water type move and has like no defenses. So it's pretty much pointless. It's pretty much pointless. But anyway, Primarina as well. Primarina can put in the work once Koko and Tangrowth are down. So in the other things, I think Tapu Koko has got a great matchup in this. So is Mega Garchomp. So I'm leaning towards the Boston Typhlosions for this game on matchups, on paper in this game. But it's Pokemon. Anything could freaking happen. Anything could happen. So jump into the game and see what leads with Palossand versus Mega. Straight out to him, a load of Muck. As it goes for Bug Buzz. Does 36%. Out comes Tapu Koko. Stop taking poison type move. Goes for Knock Off. Knocks off this. Goes to Poison Touch. Not knocking on him. So revealing that Tapu Koko is a Z move set. So it's probably Z Electric or Z Fairy. Or it could be Z Nature's Madness do 75% something. But I don't see why that would be brought. It's probably Gigavolt Havoc. But out comes the Muck, predicting a Poison Jab, which it does go for. Gets the Poison again, because this Muck is made for poison things, with Poison Touch and Poison Jab. So out comes the Palossand versus they switch out into Mega Garchomp. Out comes the Mega, predicts the Earth Power. Lives it, because obviously, oof, that does a lot of damage. So I told you, Palossand's got no defenses. That's a resisted hit. And just goes, whoop, 87%. That's why Palossand doesn't work. It doesn't work. It just doesn't. It's not a bulky boy, but it's slow. Because all the Gen 7 is slow. Because all Gen 6 was fast. They had to rebalance it down. But that's how it works. This is how it works. Goes for Shadow Ball. Does about 54% to this Mega. Sacks off the Palossand because obviously I don't know what Palossand is actually going to do. But Salamence was revealed as a special set with Hydro Pump. And Mega gets a crit Bug Buzz and Oko's the Salamence. So I'm thinking Mega is Choice Specs, Tinted Lens. Because not Speed Boost, obviously, because it's not got Speed Boost. So Tinted Lens, which means non-effective moves are do more damage. It's Choice Specs, obviously, because it keeps spamming Bug Buzz, or it's Metronome. It's probably going to be Choice Specs, because that's the other set, other than Speed Boost set, is a Choice Specs tint lens set. So, Salamence just goes down. Live the Hydro Pump, because it's probably a bulky, because I've run Salamence before in the past, where it's a Hydro Pump and Flamethrower on it on a bulky defensive set. So, that's how it is, and unfortunately, the Salamence just goes down. And out comes the Muck, who can just Shadow Sneak and kill the Yanmega. So that Yanmega threat is just gone right now. So out comes Tapu Koko, who goes for the Thunder Punch. Yanmega, Muck lives and goes for Poison Jab and kills the Tapu Koko. Out comes Mega Garchomp to get some chip damage on it. Gets the Poison Touch again. This Muck is just made to poison. It's just made to poison thing. Poison Touch with Poison Jab. Isn't Poison Jab like 30% and Poison Touch like 20%? So if he goes for Poison Jab, you've got a 50% chance of being poisoned by this Muck. Which is mad. It's just ridiculous. But he gets the Shadow Sneak, gets the Poison Touch off on the Mega Garchomp before it OHKOs it with Earthquake. So out comes the Ribombee versus the Mega Garchomp as he switches out into his Jirachi. Goes for Hidden Power. Probably Fire, I want to say. And it goes for that. It goes for Trick Room, meaning that Entei outspeeds it. But out comes Mega Garchomp, who doesn't outspeed it. Out comes the Primarina, goes for Earthquake. This is why Mega Garchomp in the Trick Room is very scary, because it's got less speed than Garchomp, but can still hit like a truck. But Tangrowth comes out and just Earthquakes the Primarina. Goes for Moonblast, lives it, goes for Knockoff, knocks off the Ribombee's Choice Specs. That's why it's doing so much damage. But goes for the Bug Buzz, so it's now not locked in. Kills the Tangrowth. Out comes Alola Whack versus Entei. Alola Whack goes for Shadow Bone. Does about 60%, 70% to this Entei as it goes for a Stomping Tantrum because it's in a bad way. Out comes Mega Garchomp versus Ribombee. Goes for Earthquake. Lives on like 7%. Moonblast. Goodbye. Mega Garchomp goes down. And the Sugar Puff City's Twilights win the game 2-0. And MVP was this bug. This Choice Specs bug coming through. I don't think I've ever seen someone run a Choice Specs Ribombee before. But I have today. It put in the work. It killed the Garchomp. It killed the Tangrowth. It killed the... Was it Marowak or was it Jirachi? It was one of them. I literally just watched the game and I can't remember. I don't retain information. I just don't retain information. But yeah, Ribombee, even with the Choice Specs knocked off by the Muck. It was the Muck. It was Chomp, Tangrowth, Muck. There we go, because knocked off the Choice Specs, so it could freely just go for Bug Buzz, Moonblasts and whatnot, and just win the game. Just win the game. So Ribombee was definitely MVP there. Well done to the Sugar Puff Seats to Elixirs, coached by Skeff. Moving them slightly into the yellow zone, whereas the Boston Typhlosions are now slowly dropping down. They're not near the orange zone yet, but they were a few weeks ago pushing for the green. Now they're just in yellow stability zone. So next week, they should be able to be push on for that final position. Should be push on to try and get back into contention in being in the playoffs at the end of Season 1 of PIDA. So, what we do now is move on to game number 6. Game number 6, where we have the Honolulu Holuchas, coached by Carl, versus the Ottawa Garchomps, coached by Pesky Skitty. And the Honolulu Holuchas are rocking Venomoth, Ash Greninja, Mega Aggron, Blacephalon, Garchomp, and Staraptor. Whereas the Ottawa Garchomps are rocking Azelf, Megalopony, Arcanine, Rhyperior, Heliolisk, and Skarmory. So, looking at the matchups, Azelf is probably going to be either Stealth Rock lead, bulky Stealth Rock lead. Stealth Rock's putting the work against the team with Venomoth, Blacephalon, and Staraptor all weak to Rocks. So, Rocks are going to be very crucial. He's got Rocks in Azelf, he's got Rocks in Rhyperior, he's got Rocks in Skarmory. So, imagining Rocks are coming. If he's got Spikes as well, Aggron doesn't appreciate Spikes. Obviously, Blacephalon and Venomoth don't. Well, Venomoth is okay with Spikes, but if he gets Hazards up, this could potentially ruin his team because Greninja can be U-turn set, Staraptor can be U-turn set, Blacephalon will take loads of damage to hazards. So his only real defogger on his team is Staraptor. Now, Staraptor is not the best defogger in the game. I know we saw defog Staraptor last week from the Honolulu Holuchas, but Staraptor's a physical hitting truck machine. You don't waste a Staraptor with defog. You get one like a Mandibuzz or a Florges or a Tapu Fini or something like that to defog. You want a bulky defogger. You don't want I'm gonna hit like a truck and go for defog. It just doesn't do it for me. I know I'm not one to talk because I usually don't bring defog to any games because I just want to go, haha, I can OHKO you with all these choice specs, choice scarf, all this set. I'm gonna go, that's my battle style. But sometimes you got to learn. I'm learning because I'm liking Reuniclus, I'm liking Tapu Fini, I'm liking Florges. They're all bulky mons. We can just sit back and go. But anyway, enough about the bunch of couches. Bunch of couches. Let's go on to this game. So let's jump into this game and see how Spring wants to go for. So Arcanine leads versus the Mega Aggron. Arcanine, obviously Intimidate, goes out into Greninja as it goes for Flare Blitz. Does around 35%, revealing lefty set, so it's a bulky Arcanine. Goes for Extreme Speed as it goes for Ice Beam. Stays in. And Honolulu Hoochers are thinking, right, he's going to switch out, because who stays in against a Greninja with an Arcanine? Who does that? Who does that? I'm going to think Ice Beam, because you're going to switch out. But he just goes for Extreme Speed. And it was a good play. He got in his head and thinking, right, you're going to go for Ice Beam, so I'm going to stay in. Because you think I'm going to go out into Skarmory. Or you're going to think I'm going to go out into Skarmory, so I'm going to click Ice Beam. Because you're going to click Ice Beam, so I'm going to stay in and click Extreme Speed. Because you're going to click Ice Beam. Because you're thinking I'm going to switch out, but I'm not going to switch out. So all the mind games are here. It's just like mind games. Absolute mind games. But we can just keep on rolling, keep on rolling. Goes for Extreme Speed again, knocks into Greninja out, and that's like, okay. Greninja gets OHKO'd by Arcanine with Extreme Speed. Okay, but Garchomp goes for Swords Dance against the Skarmory, switches out straight into his Aggron. The Skarmory goes for Whirlwind, predicting right. You're gonna click Stone Edge. I'm gonna live it because I'm a Skarmory, and I'm sturdy, most likely. And or you're gonna miss, or you're gonna switch out. Any scenario, your +2 Garchomp is gone. Don't click Whirlwind and make sure that happens. So it does happen. So he switches out straight to his Aggron, but he go whoop, goodbye. Out comes Venomoth, and he switches straight back out to Aggron as he gets his rocks up. And like I said in the preview before this game, rocks are going to be very good for the Garchomp in this game. So Hillis goes for a Focus Miss, lands it against the Mega Aggron as it heavy slams in return. Aggron's a Rhyperior, predicting a heavy slam because obviously it's based on weight and Rhyperior is a bulky boy. So Venomoth goes for Giga Drain versus a Venomoth as it goes for Substitute because it lives because of Solid Rock and it's not Stab and it's a Venomoth. So takes 2 to kill it. So down goes the Rhyperior versus the Venomoth. Out comes the Staraptor versus the Azelf. Azelf goes for Zen Headbutt. Does a solid amount of damage to this Staraptor as it goes straight into a Skarmory, predicting a U-turn or a Brave Bird or something. Takes some damage off from that. Out comes Blacephalon. And speaking of fire type, it goes out Darkrai, which probably Flash Fire. No, it's not Flash Fire, because already know it's Intimidate. But goes for Shadow Ball. Lives the hit, thinking, right, you're going to be locked into Shadow Ball. So I'm going to sack off Mr. Raptor as he goes to Morning Sun. Because you're thinking, right, you're going to go out into Lopunny. Because, you know, most Blacephalon sets are either Choice Specs or Choice Scarfed. They're the only sets I bring. I've brought Life Form, I've brought other sets before, but they just don't work. Choice Scarf is the answer. If it is against a slow team, you do Choice Specs is the answer. But Choice Scarf is the answer. So he's thinking, right, he's locked into Shadow Ball. I'm going to Mega Lopunny because, or Healisk, because both of those are immune to Shadow Ball. So I'm going to go into Staraptor. I'm going to sack it off in case he switches out, because I don't think he's going to do anything. So sacks off the Staraptor, and he goes for Morning Sun. And here's Arcanine now back up to full health. Staraptor's gone, and things are in a bad way, very bad way. So out comes the Garchomp as he goes straight into his Blacephalon, wasting it by taking the hazard damage on his Blacephalon. As he gets for Toxic, now Blacephalon's on a timer. Arcanine lives to hit because it's a bulky set, obviously. Could just Morning Sun stall out this Blacephalon with Shadow Balls, which is doing well. It's just stalling out Blacephalon with an Arcanine, because if he switches out, he's gone. And Morning Sun just does more damage healing than Shadow Ball does, because it's a bulky boy, and down goes Blacephalon. Out comes Mega Aggron, who can just click Flare Blitz. Goodbye, Mega Aggron. Goodbye, Mega Aggron. And Arcanine's just racking up the kills right now. Racking up all the kills. Out comes the Garchomp. There's the Sword Stance. Thinking, right, he's going to switch into Skarmory. So I'm going to Toxic it. Toxic score for days. Out comes Azelf. He's got Levitate. Thinking an Earthquake. There goes. +4. As he goes for Breakneck Blitz, which probably is the Explosion. There's Dranclaw. Oko's the Azelf. Lowers his HP by Life Orb. Out comes the Venomoth. Takes 25% from rocks. Out comes Megalopin. You can just go Fake Out. Or not. Outspeed and click Return. And that is GG to the Ottawa Garchomps. And yeah, MVP of that game was definitely the Arcanine, who Toxic Schooled a Blacephalon. It Toxic Schooled a Arcanine 1v1 to Greninja. It Toxic Schooled a Blacephalon. It OHKO'd. I mean, it didn't OHKO because it dealt with a Mega Aggron. Arcanine was just out there, MVP. It just was MVP. I can't. Arcanine. Round of applause for Arcanine. Put in so much work. Yeah, that's all I can. That's the only good talking point from that game. Arcanine, which is immense. Obviously, Z Breakneck Blitz was probably Explosion. If it did this much more damage, potentially, it could have been 3-0. Because Arcanine was just Arcanine. I cannot keep talking about Arcanine. Arcanine. And the mad thing is, Arcanine's not even this week's MVP. If you catch by the thumbnail, it's not even this week's MVP. And it did that much work. It got 3-0. Because we've had Rabombi got 3-0 so far. We've had Hooper Bound's got 3-0 so far. We've got... And that's it, because everything else got 3-1, 3-0, 3-1, 3-0, 3-0, 3-0, 3-0. But that means the MVP is coming in one of these last two games. So have a guess. It's going to be the next one, Game 7, or it's going to be Game 8. You have to wait and see, won't you? You're going to have to wait and see, won't you? So move on to game number 7, where we have the Wellington Ho-Oh, coached by Stan Pig, versus the Power Squad, who this week are coached by Tony. And the Wellington Ho are rocking Mega Glalie, Celesteela, Ambipom, George, the second best one in the game, Celebi, Rotomosh, and Donphan, whereas the Power Squad are rocking the usual Scolipede, Mega Slowbro, Snorlax, Togekiss, Mew, and Umbreon. The only real change I've seen in Power Squad's team is swapping Mega Slowbro for Mega Heracross and swapping Umbreon. I think Scolipede, Snorlax, and Mew have been to like every single game so far. I really do. So they're just like, I want to set up as much as I can with Scolipede, band pass into Mew, who you can learn every single move in the game. I'm going to set up with Mew. I'm going to go into Snorlax. I'm going to go into Mega Slowbro, because you can't crit Mega Slowbro. And you're going to have +2 special attack, +2 speed, +2 special defense, and all this stuff. I'm like, okay, this is why Power Squad's like this, 50-50. Because if you can stop the setup, you win the game easily. If you don't, you just lose the game, 6-0. So they're like this. They're like this. Power Squad are like this. They're just like this. They're like this. They're like this. They're like that. They're just like that. So let's jump to this game and see if the Wellington Ho-Oh can stop the Power Squad. So Ambipom lead versus the Scolipede. Go to protect, obvious play. She goes for Tail Slap. So it's obviously a skill link set. As Scolipede goes for substitute, out comes the Celesteela. There's the Toxic Spikes, as the Celesteela goes for Air Slash and misses. I know all about an Air Slash miss, so that's how it goes. Scolipede goes for Protect, as it goes for Air Slash again, setting up to +4 speed, I want to say now. Go to Band Pass, out comes the Umbreon. And I'm thinking, okay, Umbreon's just going to, as you can see, just doesn't die. Goes for Decelerate behind the sub. So it's now plus 5 speed, plus 1 attack, plus 1 defense, plus 1 special attack, plus 1 special defense. Back out comes the Umbreon as it goes for Leech Seed. And goes for Substitute to get to max speed. Gets a crit, breaks the sub, which is very good. So I think Power Squad, what they're doing here is trying to get behind the sub. Live the. There you go. That's what it wanted. That's what he wanted, to be behind the sub with all these stats, to bat and pass out straight into probably Slowbro or the Snorlax. Now, I did not know that Leech Seed stayed when you bat and passed away. I really didn't. So that was a good bring by the when her was there, because obviously if the mon they try and set up with is on a Leech Seed timer, they can deal with that. It slowly whittles it down. Let's got recovery. It's a Snorlax. It's going to have like recycled belly drum, whatever. So it's a good play by there. So Snorlax goes for belly drum, so it's now plus max speed, max attack, plus 1 in both defenses, plus 1 special attack with Leech Seed damage. As it goes for Frustration versus the Celesteela, this Leech Seed just is rocking up. As it goes for Frustration, it's a Celesteela, man. It can live anything. It can live any normal type move, even though you're max attack. So I'm going to Toxic you, Toxic Stall, and Leech Seed Stall you as you recycle, particularly my Protect. And yeah, so this Celesteela is actually walling this Snorlax. And I have to, round of applause. I've round of applause so much in this video so far, but the way this Celesteela is just shutting down the Power Squad is amazing. Sure, the Celesteela goes down, but Snorlax is gone. And all that setup was for nothing. Because they've now got to do it all over again, and Scolipes are like 25%. And this Volt Switch is probably going to do pretty much all that damage. So there's the Substitute as he goes for Volt Switch. Breaks the sub. Out comes the Mega Glalie, who has the Mega Turn 1. Anti-Mega Glalie goes for Spikes. Okay, to stop the goes for Sheer Cold. Sheer Cold. There's the Sheer Cold. This is Pokemon. You have a Celesteela who misses 2 Air Slash, which is 95% accuracy. You go into Mega Glalie and click a move which is 30% accuracy one time, and you land it. And just knock out that Mew. And it's like, okay. This is just amazing. Alcaz Mega Slowbro goes for Sheer Cold. 2 out of 2. Everything comes in freeze. Misses the Fire Blast. Why did you not just please go for Sheer Cold? Freeze Dry. Please, just click Sheer Cold now. Just click Sheer Cold now. No, everything comes in freeze. Everything comes in freeze. 3 out of 4. 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 Yeah. 3 out of 4 OK moves. Last free fall on channel. 3 out of 4 OK moves. It's always 3 out of 4. It always is 3 out of 4. It's always 3 out of 4. Out comes a Togekiss. Straight into Scolipede. Freeze Dry. Out comes Togekiss. Tail Slap. That was amazing. I'm so proud. 3 OK moves. Walder plus 6 Snorlax. And he let Ambipom get the final kill. That game could not have gone any better. The only way that game could have gone better, if he OHKO'd 5 of his Mons with Sheer Cold, and the last Mon got killed by Ambipom right here. That would have made my day. If Ambipom, the only way this game could have been better if Ambipom got the sweep instead of Megaile. That's the only way this game would have been better for me. If this George got the kill, not Glovey Glove, George. This is George's cousin, female cousin. That's the only way this game could have been better. I'm speechless because I'm so impressed. I really am. Megaile. This is why next season, spoiler alert, Megaile's going to be broken because you don't have to Mega turn 1. So if you got Megaile, you can just go, right, I'm going to moody up a bit, as you do. Oh, I've got all these amazing stats now. I'm going to Mega Evolve and just click Sheer Cold and Freeze Dry and all this stuff. Busted! Yeah! Yeah! Busted! But anyway, that is when that's why they're near the top table, because they know how to use an Ambipom. There's a power of Ambipom. Ambipom's the best. Ambipom's the best mon drafted in Kanto. Shh. But anyway, we move on to our last game. Our last game where we have the other coach near the top of the table in the Black City Curums versus New Haven Nut, the Quinnipiac Quillfish. As it's been for a while now, the Quinnipiac Quillfish, New Haven Nut have brought the same team every single week because, I don't know, they're just like, I'm getting lazy. I'm not staying for next season. I don't want to like drop. I'm just going to stay and use the same team every week and just keep on going. I appreciate that because other coaches, as you probably tell, a lot have dropped out. Since week 1, we've had like 3 or 4, 5, 6, whatever, lost count dropouts. I respect that, staying until the end of the season and then dropping out, because that's the best thing to do, because then we have to like grab someone who's got to take over a team which they don't like, and then just like, I don't like this team, I don't want to join, but I will join now. But yeah, that's just, all this stuff. But the Black Sea Curums have brought Clefable, Gliscor, Curum Black, Klefki, Comfey, Mega Medicham, the MVP of PIDA so far. But he's up against Mono Levitate, and he's brought Mega Medicham when there's 3 Psychic types and 2 flying types, and a Rotom Heat. So I don't think Mega Medicham's going to be the MVP in this game. I think Curum Black is. Because Ice type, Mood can Oko all these mons. And it's got Terravolt, so he can Earth Power the Rotom Heat. And it's quite effective. Your boy is ready. So, jump to his last game and see how things go. So, out comes the Klefki turn 1. Out comes the Rotom Heat. Light screen, reflect. All the screens are coming up. Out comes the Gliscor, and sets up both screens. Out comes Batman. Out comes the Gyarados, predicting, I don't know what he's predicting, but there's a substitute from the Gliscor. Kind of sub. As Gyarados Dragon dances up, poisons the Gyarados, so it can't sweep the team, because now on the timer now. Gets a Waterfall, breaks the sub. As he baton passed out straight into his Clefable, which is obviously unaware, so this is only a neutral damage. So Super Sonic Strike to 60%, because obviously it's unaware. Gets the Stealth Rocks up, because most of the team's weak to rocks. There's a Waterfall. Treble Clef lives it, goes for Wish, and proceeds to Toxic Stall this Gyarados. Gets a Wish back up, lives to 75%. This Waterfall's only going to do 60%, or 33%, should I say, because that's what the Z move did. But, yep, Gyarados is down. Just stalling Clefable. So Clefable just going to sit here and get a Wish back up to full health, as you do. Brave Bird to 68%. There's the Recoil. There's the Moonblast. Clefable knocks out the Dodrio. Out comes the Latios. There's the Psyshock. Lives on 9%, gets Moonblast. Latios lives, gets a special attack drop off. So he stays in to sack off the Treble Clef, which is a good play there. So he can go straight into his Comfey, who can just priority drain and kiss the remainder of his mons, besides this thing. So he switches out into his Q and black, predicting not a fire type move, but predicting a light screen, because he brings the same set every week. He's got double screens, volt switch, probably overheat. So Q and black goes for Z move, knocks out the Latias. Out comes the Latias, who proceeds to double team up. So lands Dragon Claw because evasion's not as good as it's cracked up to be. It's all about luck. So he's left with just his Volt Switch, Rotom Wash, Rotom Heat, and like I said in the start of the game, Q and Black is going to put in the work and just sweep up late game, which he did. Q and Black was MVP of that game, late game, just sweeping, because it can land Dragon Claws even with evasion boosting Latiases. It can go for Z moves. It can Earth Power Rotom Heat. I said this. I'm predicting all the games. I know I've done my notes, but I don't watch the games. I just look at the MVPs and just write down like the stats. That's all I do. I don't watch the games until the videos. You probably could tell, but I've got most of them right. Like who's going to be the MVP of the game, even though I've known the stats. I'm just contradicting myself. But that's fine. That is 100% fine. So that is going to be a wrap for week number 10. All the games. Let's jump up and look at the table. As you can see, the Black Heat Curums are top of the table, 27 points, 20 differential. Just, you know, storming away to victory. Sinnoh Starlets and the Wellington Ho-Oh are not joint second, but they're both on 24 points. The Sinnoh Stars do have 7 more differential than the Wellington Ho-Ohs, so next week, I think they play very soon, or they have played. Well, obviously, either they have played or not going to play. Duh, Jake. Duh. Stupid idiot. But yeah, so 4th place, because of that, the 2-0 victory for the Victoria Victinis. The Pure Pidgeot's down 21 points, and the Victoria Victinis are on 18 points. So, yeah, the Pure Pidgeots have got an advantage now over the Victoria Victinis in securing that last playoff spot in 4th place. But the Ultra Garchomps are now breathing down the neck with 18 points. So it's very close to the top table. Then the Boston Typhlosion, the Power Squad, the Sydney Shamans, the Sugarpuff Sea Swirlixes, and that's it. I thought there was going to be more than that, but there's not. There's 4. Boston Typhlosion, Power Squad, Sydney Shamans, Sugarpuff Sea Swirlixes are all on 15 points. 2 wins off playoffs, 1 win off relegation. So those teams are like, they have a cushion right now. They have a cushion. They can't drop into the playoffs right now. They probably can if the Boston Cyndaquils, the Honolulu Hornets, and New England Blizzards all win because they're all on 12 points. Boston Cyndaquils have got a better differential of -3 compared to the -6, -9. So they are just above the relegation zone. So next week is a must-win for those 3 coaches. And then the Hungry Big Boys, the Mediterranean Quagsires, and the New Haven Nuts are all 6-3 points. It's not looking good. If I'm being honest, it's not looking good. I know Bidoof and QQ are memeing right now, so they're not really fussed, but Mediterranean Quagsire took over from Piplup, who joined and didn't care. So I don't understand why he joined in the first place, to be honest. Because after week 1 or week 2, it's like, what's the point? I'm just going to build last minute, do whatever. I'm just going to be here, you know. And it disappeared. And I was like, okay, whatever. Because you applied, then you didn't apply, then you applied because someone else applied, and then you just dropped out, and I'm like, don't know. But Ixie's going to have a job in his hands to try and get the Mediterranean Quagsires out of the orange zone, into the yellow zone, and secure the place for season number 2 in Kanto. So, that's going to be a wrap for PIDA Kanto Weekly Show, week number 10. If you guys have enjoyed, make sure to smash that like button down below. Comment down below if you want to do any changes to this series, because any constructive criticism would be absolutely amazing to improve this series for you guys, because this seems to be like the up-and-coming most popular series on the channel as of right now. So I really thank you guys so much for the support of this series, because PIDA is my baby. I want it to extend, to just grow up and to be one of the best leagues out there. So we can get that one day. So yeah. Also, be subscribed if you're not already, because support would be much appreciated. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.